and could be termed Shining One. Shinshion from a root meaning crash in ruins. A city of Issachar. Jos 19. 17, 19 Owen Eshain, a short distance of Nazareth, may preserve the name Shin and has been tentatively identified with it. Ship. A relatively large seagoing vessel. The Bible generally makes only incidental mention of ships, shipping, and ship's gear, but it does afford some clues as to ships of biblical times. Other descriptions of ancient ships are derived from historical annals of various nations or from pictorial representations of merchant ships, marine battles, and so forth. Egyptian. Papyrus reeds, woven and lashed together, provided material for a wide variety of Egyptian boats. They ranged in size from small riverboats that could hold one or just a few hunters or fishermen, and that could be swiftly paddled along the Nile, to the large sailing vessel with upturned prow and the sturdiness to ply the open seas. The Ethiopians and the Babylonians likewise used reed vessels. Babylon also possessed a large fleet of galley ships. A relief at Medinet Habu depicts Otextoi acute Muritra Longo, ship 933 wood inlaid with ivory. The sail was of colored Egyptian linen, and the deck covering, perhaps an awning above the deck to provide shade, was of dyed wool. The ship's seams were caulked. As 27. 27 The Phoenicians were skilled sailors, carrying on extensive trade in the Mediterranean area, even going as far as Tarshish, probably Spain. It is believed by some that in time the term Tarshish ships, or ships of Tarshish, came to signify the type of ship used by the Phoenicians in trading with that distant point, that is, a seaworthy vessel able to make a long voyage. 1 Kai 22. 48. PS 48. 7. Issa 2. 16. As 27. 25 Possibly Jonah fled on a ship of this type. It had a deck, allowing space in the hold for cargo and passengers. John 1. 3, 5. One of Sennacherib's sculptures portrays a Phoenician ship with a superstructure deck, a double bank of oars, a sail, and a screen around the upper deck on which shields were hung. The prow of this fighting ship was long and pointed. Hebrew ships. When settled in the Promised Land, Dan was spoken of as dwelling for a time in ships JG 5. 17, possibly referring to its assigned territory by the Philistine coast. Jos 19. 40, 41, 46 The territory of Asher was along the sea coast and included the cities of Tyre and Sidon, though there is no evidence that these cities were ever taken by Asher. The tribes of Manasseh, Ephraim, and Judah had territory along the Mediterranean coast, so that they, too, were quite familiar with ships. Jos 15. 1, 4. 16. 8. 17. 7, 10 Manasseh, Issachar, and Naphtali also held land on or near the Sea of Galilee. While Israel had apparently used boats from early times, Solomon was evidently the first ruler in Israel to put emphasis on commercial shipping. With the help of Hiram, he built a fleet of cargo ships that sailed from Ezion-Geber to Ophir. 1 Kai 9. 26-28. 10. 22. 2 Ch 8. 17, 18. 9. 21 These vessels were jointly manned by Israelites and experienced seamen from Tyre. Every 3 years the ships would come in with cargoes of gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. 1 Kai 9. 27. 10. 22. King Jehoshaphat of Judah later entered into a partnership with wicked King Ahijah of Israel in building ships at Ezion-Geber to send to Ophir for gold. But Jehovah warned him of his disapproval of the alliance. Accordingly, the ships were wrecked at Ezion-Geber, and Jehoshaphat apparently rejected a request by Ahijah to give the project a second try. 1 Kai 22. 48, 49. 2 Ch 20. 36, 37. During the 1st century CE and the 1st century CE numerous merchant ships of various types plied the waters of the Mediterranean. Some of them were coastal vessels, such as the boat from Adramyttium in which Paul, as a prisoner, sailed from Caesarea to Myra. Act 21. 1-6. 27. 2-5 However, The merchant ship that Paul boarded at Myra was a large ship carrying a cargo of wheat and a crew and passengers totaling 276 persons. Act 27. 37-38 Josephus reports that he once sailed on a ship carrying 600. The Life, 15-3. Paul had done much traveling in ships. He had experienced 3 shipwrecks prior to this journey. 2 Co 11. 25 The one he was on this time was a sailing ship that had a mainsail and foresail and was steered by 2 large oars located in the stern. Such ships often had a figurehead representing certain gods or goddesses. The ship that Paul boarded afterward had the figurehead sons of Zeus. Act 28. 11 A small boat, or skiff, was pulled behind the ship. It was used to get to shore when the ship was anchored near a coast. To prevent its being swamped or crushed, the skiff was hauled up during storms. In this voyage of Paul's, the violence of the storm that arose caused the sailors to undergird the ship. It was apparently the passing of ropes or chains under the hull from one side to the other to hold the ship together, lower the gear, evidently the rigging, dump the cargo of wheat overboard, throw away the tackling, and lash ho